now it is streaming. Unmute. There we go. Okay. We're good. All right. I don't know what happened there. All right.
I had to finish swallowing a chili. That's what happened.
That helps. All right. Broadcasting on Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live.
Let's do that again.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org. It's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Dave Stagner in the house, y'all!
Hey, Dave Stagner!
Hello, cruel world!
Welcome to episode 570 of the Funny Music Podcast for May 20th, 2021. Title of this week's episode is Eep Orp Ah Manah Manah. So there.
That means I love you.
Or something like that, yes. We have Dave Stagner with us. We will have a pre-recorded interview with Bad Beth coming up later in the show. And let's get caught up.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke failed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, let me see. Not much. I went to a MarsCon planning meeting. And basically all I can report there is that we're planning for there to be another MarsCon.
Yay! I like MarsCon.
Aside from that, just working and when I'm not working, fighting against my executive dysfunction to attempt to finish up this highly important CN Shorts pitch for the Deanna and Darius show idea I have, or short idea that I have. Actually working on some artwork right now. The hard part of typing up all of the text about it, I've got done. So now I just got to finish up some more artwork and then arrange it all on a PDF that looks professional and submit it. So, and as soon as I do that, I need to get some other quick things done, and then I'm going to try to hop back into working on another one of these for a completely different idea because, you know, there's no reason for me to not be making as many of these as I can while it's still open for me to submit stuff to. And yeah, that's about it. What have you been up to?
Well, yesterday was my oldest birthday. I am now the father of a 17-year-old. We're going to be having the party with the my family and my in-laws are going to come over this Sunday for an official party for the first time since last year because we're all vaccinated now. I actually took my two youngest kids to get their first shot this afternoon, so they are now partially vaccinated. Their second dose will be in June sometime. I've been working on the FuMP Volume 86. That is up and ready to go. And I ordered a new T-shirt because some guy went online and got real snarky about Psychostick. And he said that after listening to quote-unquote real comedy music like Flight of the Conchords, and I forgot who else he named, Tim Minchin, I think was the other guy, he realized that Psychostick was all herder. And Psychostick saw that and said that needs to be a T-shirt. So Psychostick now is selling a T-shirt that says Psychostick is all herder. And I bought it. So that will be arriving soon, I hope. So, Dave, what have you been up to? Sorry, go ahead, Luke.
I was going to ask, Psychostick isn't officially part of the FuMP yet, are they?
No, they've never posted.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they've... I'm pretty sure I've told them about it. We've talked about getting them to FuMPFest. I fear they may be loud. But yeah, no, they actually just resumed their online streaming concert series this afternoon, so I got to watch that.
So this incredibly popular on the internet comedy band that you've known personally for a while is group of people you have yet to tell about the FuMP.com.
I'm pretty sure I've told them about it.
Man, when you say that you're bad at promoting, Jesus.
Yeah. And yet no one else will step in and volunteer, so.
But
Well, just follow my rule and only release comedy songs on odd-numbered years.
that could work, except I don't know what I would release on the even-numbered years. Because
I was asking just because I was thinking we could mention, plugging the sale of that shirt in the FuMP newsletter, but if they aren't part of the FuMP, then I guess...
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I did... I did an even-numbered year during the 2020 decade, I guess. I did Hotel Consolation.
Yeah. Well, the 2020 doesn't really count as...
2020 does not count.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those, like odd episodes that we don't admit actually happened.
Right.
It's 2020 is not canon.
Yes. Excellent. I like that.
It's like you're
Now,
in
there's
the...
a T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt, dude. Yeah, I may make that. That's great.
I'm at my funniest when I have no idea what I'm talking about, honestly. Like, I sit around and watch my brain sometimes like an audience member going, wow, that was really hilarious, or wow, that was really stupid. I want to heckle myself sometimes.
Yeah, I do that too. So what have you been up to, man?
Can I go?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of heckling, there was a really good sketch on Saturday Night Live over the weekend when Keegan was hosting, and it's basically they're doing the Muppet Show, but after Statler and Waldorf start heckling Kermit the Frog and somebody pretending to be Lily Tomlin on stage, Keegan and Kenan Thompson come out as like the security of the Muppet Theater and start like yelling at Statler and Waldorf to be quiet, and then soon after they go up to their box and basically start beating the crap out of them, and it's a really funny sketch. There's only one thing that I kind of find, for lack of a better term, offensive about it. The puppeteering was horrible. It was like, it was passable for the bit they were doing, fine, but it was just like, I was sitting there going like, I could grab any two of my friends that helped me make any of my puppet videos, and the three of us would have done a better job puppeteering. It's like, even, just kind of, as simple as doing this when the words are being said. Because whoever was doing them, I don't know which actors were playing Kermit and Statler and Waldorf, but it's like, how did they not know the very basic precepts of how puppeting works? I don't know. So, whatever. It's like one of those things that I just have to kind of let go, because otherwise it's just going to stew in my brain forever. But
yeah, and when you have expertise in something, you just cannot watch TV and movies about it. Like every time, the other day I saw something, it's double decrypted. It's going to take me, approximately one plot scene to unencrypt this file. I'm like, no, if it's encrypted correctly, it's going to take you approximately 1 million years to encrypt this file.
Yeah.
If your files could be decrypted in like convenient plot moments, you did not do a good job.
Yeah, that's the same reason my father can't watch any medical shows of any kind, because it's like they always, like, whenever they put an X-ray up in the film thing, they always put it up backwards. But he likes to tell the story of this one show he was watching where the doctor came in and put an X-ray up, and and the doctor says, yeah, this guy is in serious trouble, and my father says, yeah, he's pregnant.
Wow.
I understand, like, in the first few seasons of the show Scrubs, like, it always ends with somebody throwing up a thing like that, and apparently, like, in the opening title sequence, it was backwards for, like, the first few seasons, and then, like, when in whatever season a new character gets introduced, and then during the opening title sequence, she stops it and it's like, wait! And then, like, she fixes it. It's like, that has been bugging me for years! And then the rest of the series, it was right. The other thing I'm hoping will happen is I think this coming Saturday night is the season finale, and I'm hoping what they'll do is maybe have like, as a carry on last week's sketch, like maybe during the Saturday Night Live News they'll have like whoever puppeted Kermit the Frog like come on to like make a statement about, you know, people who might have been offended by that sketch, and then like as that Kermit the Frog is doing it, actual Kermit the Frog shows up behind him to like, because the Muppets have been on the SNL tons of times. It would be funny if the proper Muppets showed up, which also made me wonder, did they puppeteer it bad on purpose just to make sure, like, for the sake of not getting in trouble with Disney or whatever? It's like, no, this is clearly not the real Muppets. Look at how bad we're doing this.
That's possible. They may have done that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Anyway,
I just defeated executive dysfunction.
Ooh.
I wrote down 2020 is not canon on a piece of paper,
All right.
so I don't forget that I said something funny, you know?
Anyway,
Like, you
let's
said
move on to the
something
show.
funny today. This should be marked and celebrated.
I'd like to point out Dave is wearing a FuMPFest 2020 t-shirt, which is also not canon, but it exists regardless.
I actually kind of like it.
I love it, actually. Honestly, that's one of my favorite designs of the FuMPFest t-shirt. I'm wearing the 2016 shirt with Paul and Storm.
Well, you know that Blasted Bill Putt made Dementia 2003 t-shirts, and that con never even happened. We wanted it to. It just...
That's funny.
I have a consolation T-shirt somewhere.
Oh, did they make those?
Yeah,
Oh, I did not hear about
they've done
that.
a whole lot of consolation merch. I also have a consolation badge.
Oh, nice. I am part of that group. I didn't see that.
And I have, you know, in my entire lifespan of going to cons, God, I've been going to cons for 40 years now, and I have pointedly never used a badge name twice. Always changing it. You know, which gets hard after a while. For a while, I was doing like set theory math jokes, so I would like give them like strings of parentheses, and then they'd screw it up, and I'd yell at them. But yeah, I wrote, I can't do that, Dave, on the consolation badge. Somehow I don't think I've ever used before.
Huh. Nice.
But now I'm just gonna, I put it on a badge clip with my bag full of stuff that goes to cons, and I'm gonna have it attached to every con for a while
Nice. Excellent.
until the joke stops being funny, or
All right,
the
so
next pandemic.
you posted a song. Give us a quick intro to this song, and we'll give it a listen.
So I did not write this song, which is unusual for me. I have a friend, Brian, and I just known Brian for a long time. We were coworkers at one point, and a couple of points actually, because if you're in IT, be nice to your coworkers, you'll work with them again. But anyway, Brian's not a musician, but he messaged me and he's like, Dave, I wrote some lyrics. Do you know any musicians who might want to do something? And it was I Want a Vaccination, which is this Ramones parody. And it was hilarious. And I'm like, dude, I'll do that. And then, you know, I'm not wanting to put a lot of effort into it because, you know, it was dystopian Groundhog Day still. And I went out to my drummer, Justin Hartley's place. Justin and his spouse got COVID early, so I always felt safe going out there, figuring, you know, lightning's not going to strike them twice. So went out, and Justin and I sat down with one microphone and an acoustic guitar and his cajon, and I handed him a copy of the lyrics, and we just banged it out, very punk style. And then Brian listened to it. He's like, I never thought of doing this as an acoustic song. I'm like, punk is punk, man. Punk is not the instruments you choose. It's how you approach the music.
All right, let's give it a listen. Here is I Want a Vaccination by Dave Stagner.
You cannot pat yourself on the back while keeping time.
Yay! Oh, wait.
It's like rubbing your belly and patting your back at the same
Yeah,
time. It
you
does
just
not
know.
work.
It's such a simple song.
You know what else doesn't work?
Count again?
1, 2, 3, 4. COVID, 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 it's time to go. I want a vaccination. People to see and places to go. I want a vaccination. Just keep it cold and colder while it's on the plane. Ship it, ship it, ship it before it gets too late. They won't control your fingers or change your DNA. No, 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 no. COVID, 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 it's time to go. I want a vaccination. Vacations to take out on a nice lake. I want a vaccination. Just get me to the clinic. The nurses have been trained. Take it, take it, take it. If you're not insane, that's an anti-vaxxer. Get it through your brain. No, 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 no. Brains! COVID, 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 it's time to go. I want a vaccination. Parties with friends out by the year's end. I want a vaccination. Just give me antibodies. Serum is my friend. Hurry, 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 before I meet my end. Lost control pandemic. Sick of the strand. No, 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 no. COVID, 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 it's time to go. I want a vaccination. Wearing a mask is but a small ask. I want a vaccination. Just keep me out of sick ward. Get me to a show. Help me, help me, help me. This lockdown makes me low. I want to meet my friend. Dancing with full toes. Oh, no, 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 no. Ba, 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 ba. I want a vaccination. Ba, 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 ba. I want a vaccination. Ba, 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 ba. I want a vaccination. Ba, 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 ba. I want a vaccination. Right. So, like, if we get the vaccine, does it cure zombie or cause zombie?
Maybe both.
Yeah, we need more
Yeah.
zombies in this apocalypse.
Yeah, and that's just how we get in the studio. Like, you listen to records that Justin and I worked on, especially with Beth Kinderman, you'll get little scratches of just ridiculousness in the studio.
Yeah, it's great when stuff
And-
like that happens. I mean, with the Cirque du Soleil recordings were the same way. Just the four of us goofing around for all 3 days, basically.
Yeah, and the eyes thing is that's a reference to that Jonathan Colton zombie song. Why am I blanking?
Re your brains.
Are your brains? Yes. And we just started saying eyes instead of brains, referencing the lyrics. Then we saw Jonathan Colton on May 1st, which was hilarious, and like the whole audience was in on the joke. Like, this is the Minneapolis Spanish community all says eyes now instead of brains, and so he's up there, and like we're all going eyes, and he's like, "You guys are weird," He also called me an open source hippie. So,
Nice. Was that this year on May 1st or previous
God,
year?
that was many years ago.
Okay.
On May 1st. Yeah, that was.
I was going to say, because I didn't think
ago.
he was performing it. I actually just got an email from him today with some new tour dates for later this year.
Oh, I just got tickets last week for my first real concert in June 17th.
Nice.
I'm gonna go get to see a musician, like a major musician, live and outdoors.
Nice.
So excited.
Things are going to start happening again.
Yeah, everything's starting to feel normal. I'm glad the song got on the FuMP while it's still funny.
Well, yeah, because we're kind of right in the middle of the big vaccine push right now, so the timing was good.
Yeah, even the whole the line in the song "Parties with Friends by the year's end." It's parties with friends by June.
Let's hope. Well, let's hope at least by the end of August, because FuMPFest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to cons. Convergence here in Minneapolis is a big deal, and
Yeah.
Beth and I are actively involved in that.
Is Convergence going to happen this year?
I probably shouldn't talk about
Okay.
what's going to happen because I'm on Concom and I know, but there are things that aren't public.
All right, that's fine.
So
I didn't know if they had announced anything. You don't have to spill secrets or anything.
no, I'll bite my tongue there. But yeah, and OVFF, which is a FilpCon in Ohio, it's Beth and I love going to. It's a huge deal for us, and missed it last year. Yeah, I've written comedy songs in songwriting contests there, and so OVFF is like Halloween weekend, so we're pretty sure it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Super excited about that.
It should be happening by then, yeah. Everything.
Yeah, I think by Halloween we should have cons and be back to normal.
Yeah.
It's just so nice.
One would
to
hope.
feel like I could do things. Eating in restaurants and going back to the gym.
I'm actually planning to go back to movies because A Quiet Place 2 opens this weekend, and I kind of need to see that. So
saw my first movie in a theater on Sunday.
Nice.
My son and I went and saw Demon Hunter, which was freaking awesome.
Demon Hunter. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not an anime person. It's an anime series he loves. Okay. I'm too old to be an anime person. I'm like Akira. That's good anime. So, but yeah, I went and the movie was great. It was so worth seeing. That level of animation in a big theater. The fight scenes were incredible. It was just a blast to be back in a theater, eating too much popcorn and really, really desperately needing to pee and not being able to pause things.
Yeah.
All the grand traditions.
Just the little things that you miss,
It's the little things, like needing to pee and you're like, the movie's going to end in 20 minutes. Damn it. I'm not going to miss this scene.
Yeah, if nothing else happens between now and then that makes me say, like, I'm going to go see this in the theater. I'm kind of saving my first back to the theater experience for opening night of Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's like, talk about the ultimate movie to go to see after not being able to see movies for a year and a half. It's like, I hope it's on IMAX, because if it is, I am freaking getting that.
It probably is.
It's just, it's nice to start feeling somewhat normal again.
Yeah.
And, I'm glad things are working.
Well, as I mentioned, we're having our first, party for my kid this weekend, and I want to have them write like 16/17 on the cake for, happy birthday.
I've been suggesting that, like, we should just, like, every time we see friends we haven't seen in a long time, just say happy birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
Because all of us missed a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just everybody say happy birthday to each other. Yeah, I took
like
my
that
kids
idea.
out to like some VR experience thing, like the day before everything shut down, like right after MarsCon last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird. You sort of think, like, what were you doing when the nukes fell?
Right. Yeah, MarsCon last year was the last, big event I did. And we haven't done much since. We did go see my parents last summer, I think once, maybe twice. And that was it, I think.
Yeah, my in-laws came to town for Mother's Day weekend. It was the first time since we'd seen them since Christmas before last. And going out next weekend to Virginia to visit my mother.
Oh, nice.
So, yay.
Things are happening. Things are happening.
I'll go to Virginia Beach and see a beach and see the ocean.
So are you looking forward to performing out again?
Oh, I'm so looking forward to performing out. I actually have a concert this Saturday as part of Festival of the Living Rooms.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I don't know how much comedy music people have been following it, but Blind Lemon Chiffon from the Filp community just started organizing online Filp concerts on Zoom. and they're like once a month. And a lot of people who normally would never get a concert slot are getting concert slots within the FuMP community.
Mm-hmm.
And it generates really good audiences. And a lot of cons that have been canceled that have music tracks, he's organized music tracks for them. And sometimes it's like awesome music tracks. Like last time I did Festival Living Rooms was like in March, and I had like 200 people in the audience.
Nice. It
was crazy. It was for some FilmCon in California that I would never go to normally. I mean, if I'm going to California, there are things I want to do more than a FilmCon, which is saying something.
Well, you've got 9 people watching you right now on Twitch, so that's a start.
Yeah. So because I play a ridiculously diverse amount of music, different kinds of music. This Saturday, I'm playing an all-instrumental solo acoustic guitar show.
Oh, interesting.
Just like, and some of it is soothing, and then I grab a 12-string and a slide, and I bang out War Pigs because I can. It's marvelously intense. My spouse posted on she found an image posted it on my wall on Facebook of Piglet from Winnie the Pooh playing a little cigar box guitar. It was called War Piglet.
Nice.
Yeah, she's had to listen to War Pigs too much. And I'm doing like a country blues version of the Star Wars theme, and
cool.
Just
Fun
how
stuff,
my
yeah.
brain hears music is just a weird place, and just because there's no lyrics doesn't mean I can't make a comedy.
Yeah.
I was thinking of myself as a comedy guitarist mostly.
Yeah, it's tough. It's difficult to do comedy without talking, without words, but it can be done. The Smothers Brothers are very good at it.
I remember seeing like a Victor Borgia video on HBO,
mm-hmm.
and watching Victor Borgia like hardly saying a thing. He was pretty quiet. He was funny with his piano, and he was hilarious with a piano.
Yeah, I remember seeing a skit with Tommy Smothers and a pianist like battling back and forth, and it was just a silent skit, the two of them dueling musically, and it was hysterical.
Yeah, musical instrument. There's a lot of things that you can't say in words. I mean, to me, that's the great advantage of learning to play a musical instrument well. But the things the feelings you want to express that aren't necessarily in words are sometimes funny. And there's a lot of funny things you can do. That's why I love playing with Justin Hartley, because he's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a funny musician. He's constantly recording these things in his studio, just like all these crazy instruments he owns, this out-of-tune piano that hasn't been tuned in 50 years, and accordions, and he just like bangs out this crazy Spike Jones kind of instrumental improv stuff. And I feel like I'm the only person who gets to hear it. I want to help him produce an album of it someday.
Yeah, he
but
should
some
put
of
something
it is
out,
just really funny. But it's just instrumental. There's no lyrics.
Luke, you're muted. We can't hear you. Luke, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Nothing. There you go.
There.
If you do a Kickstarter for that, I will donate to it.
I will let him know that.
I will too.
Because, people should hear this stuff. It's so funny.
Cool.
It's so musically interesting.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Like the whole, Spike Jones thing. I love stuff like that. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah. It's trying to be comic with instruments rather than words. It's just unusual these days. I don't, maybe it's always been unusual. I don't know.
Yeah, it probably has been. I mean, I can't think of too many people who did something like what Spike Jonze did.
There was a thing at Disney's California Adventure when they had their I forgot what they called it. It was like a big kind of Pixar celebration span of time, and they had a group that they called the Pixarmonic Orchestra, who came out with live instruments and played a bunch of music that's well known from various Pixar things. So they'd play like the Incredibles action theme music and all the other stuff. But they would typically end by doing a Spike Jonze version of "You've Got a Friend in Me" that is mind-blowing. I was just sitting there with my jaw down, like, jaw hit the pavement, but smiling, watching this. I'm like, this is the closest I will ever get to seeing Spike Jonze live, and it was amazing. So go to YouTube and just Google, Pixarmonic Orchestra, "You Got a Friend in Me," whatever.
Harmonic Orchestra. I'm gonna have to remember that.
It just, when they finished, I was like, yeah. Oh, another great thing they remember in Inside Out, the running gag about how the double mint gum
that commercial
would always get stuck in their heads. Like between every song, it'd be like, "Reminder, we're brought to you by Double Mint Gum." Double Mint Gum. It would just play the exact same thing between every song. I'm like, you're geniuses. So I don't think they do that anymore. I think it was a limited time thing, but I'm like, that was one of the best things I've seen at a Disney park ever. Was the yeah. So the only other thing I can think of as far as instrumentals that I've heard lately that kind of blew my mind was on Shoebox's Pac-Man EP. The Pac-Man theme that he did and arranged is friggin' amazing.
Yes.
It's just
sounds like him.
Yeah.
Because it's like he incorporated all these other musical elements from the video game and from the cartoon and put it in. It's like, I really generally don't listen to instrumentals repeatedly, but that is one that it is such a jam. I want to see like a bunch, like, how, kind of gymnast dance routines. I want to see a gymnast, bunch of awesome kids doing like an acrobatic, dance to that song. It's like jumping around, like twirling ribbons and stuff, and then like other acrobats that look like that are like the bad guys come in during the bad guy music part. It'd be amazing. So yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, it's fun when you've got those little short pieces of music. You can put them in as repeating themes. Like the Ninjas every once in a while would play "Mommy's Broken" by Quartet like 3 or 4 times during the course of a set.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we'd do "Mommy's Naked" too.
Yep. I remember.
I remember like seeing you do that way back when at MarsCon and with Eric Coleman and like whipping around going, "You can't parody a 3-second song." Yes, Devo can.
Yep.
He's good that way.
And we didn't even tell Eric what we were doing. We just kind of, pushed him up on stage and said, "Play the Mommy's Broken" chords. And he was like, okay, dun, 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 dun. And he actually, instead of playing 7 chords, he only played 6. So my timing was screwed up, so I didn't come in at the right time.
Yeah.
But it was fine. It was fine. Nobody noticed.
I did a little musical thing like that, too, on the This Is How Elvis Died EP. There's a track on there that, I was at a songwriting contest, and I was like, it was themed on time travel. I'm like, what's the simplest possible time travel song I could write? So it's this little musical riff, and then you hear "oops," and then the guitar goes crazy. Then it goes crazy again. And it goes crazy again. Oops, oops, oops. And then I tagged it on, I think, as a hidden track again at the end of the record. But it was really fun to be able to record that, because while I'll occasionally throw that in live in a set,
mm-hmm. just because the explanation of the song title is longer than the whole song. Yeah,
but the pros and cons of time travel. But being able to do it in a recording where I could just loop the guitar and get perfect repetitions.
Yeah.
That was a nice subtle instrumental joke.
Now, what you could really do is you could record that song and get it pressed to vinyl as the last track on the album, and then make it so that it's an infinite groove, so that it just keeps playing at the end of the record.
Oh God, if I ever like released a comedy album on vinyl, that would be worth it.
I don't know what it takes to do that. I know it can be done because I know people have done it, but I don't know what it takes to do it.
Yeah, it would just have to be exactly the right length.
Yeah.
That could be done.
Yep. You can figure it out. All right.
Yeah, if the Beatles can do it, I can do it.
So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I think I already plugged. Beth Kinderman is working on a record we've been working on through COVID. It's not funny at all.
Okay. We'll forgive
Beth
you.
tracked all of her vocals and guitar parts at home in lockdown.
Nice.
And she's like recording it all on her cell phone in GarageBand and sending it to me, and then I pull it into Logic and I start putting 15 tons of crap on it because Beth and I never learned how to not do too much when producing. And then we added Elizabeth to the band, and she'll like stack 10 vocal parts because she can. And Elizabeth's already in Maryland, so she's already recording remotely. So we've just been like remote building this record, and it had fallen fallow because I was breaking down psychologically and dysfunctionally because dystopian Groundhog Day. And but this week we had band get together for the first time in ever.
Nice.
And yeah, Justin and Beth came over to my house, and we got Elizabeth on a Zoom meeting, and we listened to what we have so far and figured out what we need to do next. Yeah, it's called Sisyphus, 10 songs about hope. And right after Beth and I got together right after MarsCon last year to sit down and do our initial planning session. This is our next album. She had 8 of the songs written at the time, knew what the other 2 would be about. And then COVID happened. Kaboom! and a couple months later on Twitter, somebody was like, what did you do personally to cause COVID? And Beth responded, I sat down with my bandmate producer to start planning our next album about hope and how difficult it is.
So it's all your fault.
Yeah. It's my fault. I'll blame Beth. She's the songwriter.
All right.
Well, you guys run with the rest of the show.
Yep. We will run with the rest of the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
It was great.
You're welcome to stick around, obviously, if you'd like to.
Oh, sure. I can say snotty things. I do that.
And we're going to do some news after this promo.
Attention comedy musicians and comedy music fans. The Logan Awards are taking open nominations for outstanding comedy songs and videos released last year for this year's awards. Did you release a comedy song or music video last year, or have a favorite comedy song or video that was released last year? Then nominate it for the Logan Awards today. What are the Logan Awards? To put it simply, they're the Comedy Music Awards, presented annually by the Funny Music Project, and are presented in 3 categories: Outstanding Original Comedy Song, Outstanding Parody Song, and Outstanding Comedy Music Video. If you have a comedy song that was released last year that you'd like to nominate for this year's awards, head to LoganAwards.com and click the Nominations tab at the top. There is a minimum and maximum of 5 nominations per person. Hurry! Nominations close this year on May 28th. For more details about Logan himself, the awards, and more, check out LoganAwards.com. Help us commemorate the year's best comedy songs and music videos with a trophy, the way they do with every other form of entertainment. But if you want your favorites to win, you have to nominate them by May 28th. Get your nominations in now at LoganAwards.com, brought to you by FuMP.com.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, The FuMP Volume 86 is now shipping, featuring all of our songs from March and April of 2021, including Stuck Here in Dubuque by Carla Ulbrich, WandaVision by Jeff Whitmire, which inspired the Brady Bunch-themed album art, My Girl's WAP by Robbie Ellis, Lazy Day by Knuckleheads, which was the #1 most requested song on the Dr. Demento show last month, Buying Braziers Together by the Boobles, and Air Fryer Blues by Ross Childs, and many, many more. Plus the live performance from the FuMPCast of Robbie Ellis performing My Girl's WAP. CDs went out to Level 2 subscribers on Wednesday. Level 1 subscribers can download their digital copy from the store at thefump.com. If you're not a subscriber, information about that can be found at thefump.com. Level 1 offers all of our digital downloads, including the full compilations, for $4.99 a month. Level 2 offers that, plus the bi-monthly CDs for $9.99. Note there are 7 people who haven't had their CDs go out yet because I'm having trouble with endicia.com. If that's not sorted by Saturday, I will just take them to the damn post office and mail them then. So apologies to those 7 people. I don't know who they are offhand. There's currently a sale happening over at Needle Juice Records for $3 off Commodore Touchdown by TV's Kyle to celebrate Kyle's birthday, which was also yesterday. Same birthday as my kid. So go to needlejuicerecords.com, look for Commodore Touchdown, and save $3 on the vinyl. And as we mentioned in the promo, the Logan Awards are still accepting their nominations. So if you haven't nominated yet, head over to loganawards.com and nominate your favorite nominees. Luke, anything before tour dates? Nothing. Again, Luke with the nothing and the... Nope. There it is. Nope, we lost you again. Okay. Yep. I heard the snap. Oh. And he's gone. He'll be back. All right, in that case, tour dates. Sundays on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab featuring Dr. Pinkerton. I believe this season is going to be wrapping up in the next few weeks. Thursdays online, Steve Goody. Fridays online, Carla Ulbrich. And then coming up on the 27th online, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And we'll give Luke a moment to come back. See if he had, because he looked like he wanted to say something. Let me text him.
My brain was MST3King that whole thing, because my brain MST3Ks every conversation. And I was like hearing air fryer boobs.
Air fryer boobs would be a totally different thing.
Wait, TV's Kyle is your son?
No. That would be amusing, but no.
Oh.
All right, so I don't...
Hi, Salvador.
Oh, hi, doggy. Wait, let me... Here. All right, so I don't think Luke is going to be coming back. So... Just me. Okay. All right, so in that case, let's get into the second song for this week, plus with like a 10-minute or so interview with Beth. Here is Flat in the Outback by Bad, Beth, and Beyond.
I went down to fair Australia and loaded up my ute, for I long to see its wildlife as deadly as it's cute. I drove up the Stewart Highway with hopes to see some fauna. Only 2 weeks until Christmas, it was like a bloody sauna. I saw kangaroos and emus, and my mood began improving, for wildlife is exciting even when it's not moving. A roadkill, Australian roadkill. Technically speaking, it's a wish I can fulfill. To see these famous critters is really quite a thrill, even when they're very, very still. Now if you hit an emu, there are feathers everywhere. hits your car, he just spirals in the air. So slow down and be careful, or you might be roadkill too. At dusk or dawn especially, you could hit a kangaroo. If you've heard that roos can kill you, then the rumors are all true. Then heading east to Queensland, where they say the coast is golden, a platypus would be flatopus beneath my sturdy Holden. Oh, roadkill, Australian roadkill. Technically speaking, it's a wish I can fulfill. To see these famous critters is really quite a thrill. Even when they're very, very still. I saw kangaroo, roadkill. I saw emu, roadkill. I saw wallaby, roadkill. And mugu too, roadkill. It was bye-bye, roadkill. And warm splat, roadkill. Mission Impossible, like a lizard drinking flat. Out. Oh, roadkill, Australian roadkill. Technically speaking, it's a wish I can fulfill. To see these famous critters is really quite a thrill. Even when they're very, very still. I'll pretend that they just wanted to get Netflix and chill.
I'm here with Bad Beth and Beyond, or just Bad Beth. I guess the Beyond is the musical portion or something. How you doing, Beth?
I'm doing all right, considering, this is way past my bedtime. Usually like about 2-3 hours before this, I'm already hanging upside down in my closet with my wings over my face. But I stayed up late just for you. I appreciate it. I fucking hope you appreciate it, man.
I totally appreciate it. I can tell. I know you're a night walker, so this is we're recording in the middle of the day here, which is dangerous for you. I get, but I appreciate it.
I'm allergic to sunlight, but it's kind of like an EpiPen, but it's got human blood in it, so that makes it all right.
That's helpful,
I can hang in there.
So speaking of dangerous things, tell us about this song.
Oh, this song. This is goes back a few years ago. I was in Australia. I was singing my songs and playing some places and learning some interesting things. Like certain things that mean different things in the United States of America that mean just totally different things in Australia. But we'll get to that.
Okay.
But I thought, oh great, I'll get to see some fucking kangaroos. And I fly into the airport. And it just looks like a city, except everybody's driving on the wrong side of the road and everything. But, halfway into the tour, I start getting into the Outback, and, I see, oh look, there's a kangaroo, and, why won't he move? It turns out he was dead. So, I thought about. There's a psychological disorder that you might not have heard of, and it's called bestiopedopyronecrophiliac, where somebody likes to do dead baby animals on fire. But this thing was fully grown, and it was bushfire season. You're not supposed to light no matches or nothing, in the summertime.
I think Guar did a song about that. I'm not sure, but I have heard of that, oddly. But yeah, so it occurred to me that seeing dead animals in Australia is probably the only safe way to see animals in Australia, because everything down there tries to kill you.
Yeah, but they don't have guns, so we're kind of even, it's like, there's some things that don't try to kill you, but, that's why they all go, the ones that don't try to kill you go extinct,
Yeah. I saw a photo recently of some Australian animal that was really tiny, and it was wrapped around this guy's thumb. It was adorable. I forget what it was. And the caption said that not all Australian animals can kill you. Don't be fooled. He wants to, he just can't.
Yeah. Well, that's not entirely true, because some of them, once they get close enough to you, they taste good. It's now these are it's hard to make like an etouffee or a gumbo in Australia because the ingredients act a little differently. It's maybe it's the reverse polarity. I don't know, but
Yeah, you're below the equator, so things spin the opposite direction or something. I don't.
And here's something, I thought I was prepared for everything, but apparently I was on one of these gigs and they were talking about the dessert. I had to make an announcement, during the dinner course that the dessert was sticky date. Now, I think of a date being a mark on a calendar, or maybe a romantic outing if you're kind of hoping to get laid, or maybe this is my date, meaning the person that you're hoping to bang, at the end of said romantic outing, or a kind of fruit, and I found out that in Australia, a date also means your third eye, and I'm not talking about that Hindu shit either. I'm talking about the third eye where the sun don't shine. So, I'm telling people, oh, a sticky date. That wouldn't be the first time I've had a sticky date, and everybody's laughing. And I think I'm really funny. I'm going, sticky date. You got the cutest little sticky date. And I'm just like, thank you very much. You've been a great audience. And that's when I find out that, what I'm really singing about. So that might have to be my next Australian inspired song.
That could work. You might have to explain the reference for people outside of Australia, but that could definitely work.
I think they probably know that sticky date means different things in different ways. Just like here in the United States, if you say, and I would imagine, and I haven't heard this used improperly in Canada, but here in the States and in Canada, if you use the word fanny, it just means something kind of, the thing on which you sit.
Yeah.
And if you go to Ireland, if you go to Scotland or England or the Isle of Man or Australia, fanny is your front bottom.
Yes. That I did know.
Yeah.
So how was your trip to Australia?
It was long. It was great. It was 4 months of driving on the left-hand side of the road, and trying to take pictures of all the dead animals, and having Vegemite for breakfast, and getting used to explain some of my strange vernacular, because I kept talking about my fanny pack, and people thought, oh, she's this uninformed American. No, I wanted something to pack my fanny with, if you know what I mean. That'll teach me to go to Aldi's when I should be going to a sex shop or something.
Yeah.
And it was December, which means it's hot as balls. I believe that somebody else wrote a song about it's hot as balls outside. Well, because in the southern hemisphere, it gets hot in December and it gets cold in July.
It must have been weird doing like the Christmas thing down there when it was really, really hot.
Well, yeah, there was a Santa run, and the Santa on Christmas Day on some of these small towns, the Santa Claus, he comes out, dressed all in fur, and he's sweating, he's sweating like a politician before a jury, and because it's still the tradition, and they take the fire truck through the little towns, and all the little kids come out, and he hands them icy poles, what we would call popsicles, and
yeah.
and lollies, which is any kind of candy whatsoever, But what I thought was really interesting was the Santa, the guy in the Santa suit was the town mortician. So again, he knew where everybody lived, and I was like, "You got to give me some dirt, man. You got to give me some dirt," And then I asked him if he would be a mortician for some of this roadkill that I saw. He said he only gave funerals for human beings, which I thought was discrimination.
Yeah, only deals with people. That's You gotta broaden your focus a little bit sometimes.
I mean, dead wallabies, dead wombats, dead cows, dead sheep, dead quolls, dead bilbies, dead koalas, dead platypuses, dead echidnas. None of them get any dignity.
So what was your favorite dead animal of the Australian bunch?
By my favorite, you mean what I had the most fun with, or just the animal that I would have liked the most if it had been alive?
Any interpretation of that.
Let's see. there was this poor little emu. Emu was just sitting on the side of the road, and I thought it was one of those French fry guys, like in the old McDonald's commercial. French fries, French fries, French fries.
Oh, yeah. The
Yeah.
fry guys, yes.
Fry guy. I thought it was one of those, and it. All I could think of, because I'm from Louisiana, and I see this big old emu, and I'm like, I could make a serious gumbo out of that.
Well, I mean, it's dead. I mean, it's not going to put up much of a fight. You could still do it.
Yeah, you see, I've got this friend, I do have friends. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there. But I've got this friend named PH Fred, and he wrote this song called Emo Emu. And, he says emo emu, which flows better, but that's not how you pronounce emu.
Mhm.
And if you don't believe me, go to Australia and say emu and see how many people will turn around and want to choke a bitch.
All right. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You mean songs or things that I want to plug, when the camera's not on?
I was thinking songs.
Because I got a fanny pack here, and songs, yes. It's my song called Flat in the Outback, and it's all about getting to see those cute little creatures where they don't move, they don't do much, but at least they're not going to kill you.
Yep. Okay.
And everybody should go to the FuMP.com and buy my song, or you'll be next. Especially, but that's only if you wear a kangaroo suit, and I might start driving on the left-hand side of the road out of habit. It might get kind of weird.
Yeah, that could get messy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks. I think I'm gonna go to bed now and crawl into my coffin.
All right. Good luck. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback. Eclectic Lee wrote, "FuMP Lee? Well, FuMP you." Oh, wait, that was a compliment. Oh, okay, well, still FuMP you. It's a compliment. Thank you, Lee. All right, that is all the feedback we got this week. So...
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Ethan Moyer. And Tuesday's song is by Knuckleheads. And tomorrow's Spotify playlist topic is food. All right, Dave, plug yourself one more time. Dave, you're muted. You're muted. We can't hear you either.
I turned it off so
There he
nobody
is.
would have to listen to my dogs barking because my spouse went out the door, and the dogs flip out because I have very noisy dogs. So plug me. Go listen to I Want a Vaccination while it's still funny because it's got about a month life left in it, and then nobody's going to want a vaccination. Because we'll all have it, or we'll all be like, I am not getting Bill Gates microchips injected into me. I'm just going to do hydroquinine instead. That's safe.
Yep.
Other than that, cons are coming back. When cons come back, go to them. Concerts are coming back. I'm so excited about live music. I'm just going to plug 2021 because, as we said at the beginning, 2020 is not canon.
Right.
And we're going to ignore it.
Right. 2021 is where it's at. 2020 is not canon.
2021, go see concerts. Go give your friends hugs if they're into that sort of thing. Go do stuff. Go be normal again, or not normal again if that was your thing. It was always been my thing to not be normal, so whatever.
Yep, same here. And Bad Beth and Beyond can be found on Facebook. Just search for her Facebook page and you will find it. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice. Luke is off doing more important things. And there's Dave.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Doublemint gum! Doublemint gum! Doublemint, doublemint, doublemint gum!